pistol!
Alright, here we are at what is hopefully the end of Chapter 2 of Danganronpa. We have just pinned Byakuya as a potential suspect. I knew it from the beginning. But, you know, these kids are a little slow on the draw, so to speak. So, anyway.
Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before all this happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it? Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her. So he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I'd put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. I'm on fire. Well, Byakuya, what's your response? I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. And I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go through the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room. Nothing strange about that, I'd say. You would say that.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
There's a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone.
Oh. Alright, let's hear about them non-stop debates. Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot at once as a single truth bullet. Oh shit! So it's like in Ace Attorney where you press a statement and then you gain evidence from that statement to hit another statement with. I see. I mean, Ace Attorney is my only frame of reference for this game, so... yeah, so forgive me if I'm making too many comparisons here. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answers to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to use a flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use the flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Ah, damn. Okay, let's see. Can I backlog that? Yes. Okay, so the victim was Chihiro, and before we found the body. Did those two statements contradict each other? I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like they do. Oh wait, yeah, they might contradict each other. Gotcha, bitch.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went into the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead, show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
Screw the rules. I have money. What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is, I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there. Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there? What could it be?
Alright. Oh, the lamp. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Fuck! Okay, gotta go back. Back to the past. Samurai Jack. Yeah. I think you have seen that rope.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
Yes, finally! You and I are on the same level, Makoto.
Because you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord.
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And that same extension cord was in the library all this time. Went missing right after the murder. There's no way someone that uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility. That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this. I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned, as if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you'd think that's what happened. Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya is the killer. I wouldn't disagree with not disagreeing. He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
I'm sorry, but could we hold on for just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still. There's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal sociopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean...
Wait, hold up.
Can't really just accept what Byakuya said as truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? Are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There's absolutely no question of that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all that.
I believe I do. Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya had been so confident up until now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else? Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance that the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that switched between the boys' and girls' locker rooms.
Posters!
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters? Yeah, because one of the posters is covered in blood and the other isn't, so the posters had to be moved in order to conceal the blood. You know, the blood that should have been in the... yeah. The blood that should have been on the other poster. Okay,
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. Don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in the boys' locker room.
Okay, is Tornado a parody of Arashi? Because they mean basically the same thing. So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you? Protein coffee? That's how he said it. Well, I was in the girls' locker room earlier. I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee. Then doesn't that mean the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that? Again, to hide the blood.
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question is, if the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook could have only allowed her to access the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with. No, she did have a way. I can tell you what it was. I highly doubt that. Shut up. I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro have really gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Okay.
本当にあるのですか？藤崎さんが男子更衣室に入る方法が。あ、僕には分かったぞ。彼女は電子生徒手帳を改造したのだ。彼女は超高校級のプログラマー。
You know, you put up a good argument, Taka. Nope, that statement's bullshit. Oh, it's wrong. Fuck. Damn. No, we're doing it again. There we go. You is wrong, my dude.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh, well then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh? I don't know, I'm kind of willing to go with Taka's explanation. The ultimate programmer hacked their own handbook. I'm struck silent by how quickly you gave up. Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook? Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, you'd be safe. Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Obligatory Land Before Time dark fact.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway. So then she must have hacked hers like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and... You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, the security buzzer starts blaring. So if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook, maybe Mr. Nagi's initial assumption is just wrong? It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room, so I guess so. Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really?
I vote yes.
But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track. What the? Finally decided to open your mouth and that's what you have to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So... Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access. What? What are you talking about? What other way is there? Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something. Wait. Just what do you think you're doing? Don't worry. This will make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you. Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial recess. Huh? For real? Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy. Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So, before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. Where she took us was... the girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy? I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want me to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time. Examine her carefully? Like, using our hands? No way, no way, no way, no way. It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a dead girl's body. I might develop a complex. It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know? Very well, I'll do it. But you're a girl, you shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it. No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me. Sakura? What is this, some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around. Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body. I believe we will solve this particular mystery. Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What does this mean?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is not a girl. Whoa. Okay. Whoa! I didn't think I was right. I see, so she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact. What? You're joking, right? I wouldn't joke about this. Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Well, what, you guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy. Then he was a cross-dresser? Now I'm really on fire. I wish I had killed him. So that's why Kyoko wanted to that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. I do apologize for keeping you all waiting. Now then, let's resume this class trial. We've all just learned the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from here. Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy, the thought had never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room. Assuming his handbook did in fact list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true. Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but was a boy through and through. So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sakura or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room. So Chihiro was really killed in the boys' locker room? I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible. Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. Did? Yeah, I think the motive for moving the body was just to make it look like Toko did it, because Toko couldn't have gotten into the boys' locker room. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body. This is the most titillating situation. So now everyone's been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear. Okay, well, connected or clear, whatever, we still think you're the killer, remember? Very interesting. This is becoming very interesting indeed. Ah, he's off in his own little world. What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya is the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like genocide. Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting makes it seem like it doesn't even have anything to do with him.
Do you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence left behind was a little too, how can I put it, overt. He consciously chose the extension cord, knowing it would connect him to the murder. At least that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. Then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's what you're thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being. Mark it as correct? He's right. I'm not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it. You just happened to alter it. Even though getting the killer wrong would get everyone in the school executed. Are you fucking with us right now? No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth. Well, I find it very hard to believe. Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us. If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why would you do that to his body? My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, then who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it. No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we'll all die here. That's true. Very well then, I'm with you too. Damn straight, count me in. Do you not have a mind of your own? Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. I think we still have time to make our decision.
That's very true. Our lives are all on the line. Excellent. And shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means
the killer's a guy.
Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you'd need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I had to find some more clues.
Shit, I forget. Okay, truthful. Let's take another look at Celeste's account. On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag.
してたら最初から言うべ。
ならば被害者の目撃でもよい。
今は少しでも新しい情報が必要だしね。
無理無理。
やっぱ無理。どうせ被害者を持つ犯人だけだべ。そいつも名乗り出ねえだろ。おしまい。
おしまいだって嫌だ。
何か犯人に繋がる手がかりはない。誰か犯人してたら最初から。ならば被害者の目撃でもよい。
今は少しでも新しい情報が必要だしね。
無理無理。
Alright. Looks like I'm gonna have to take out that white noise in order to shoot that statement. Made a fucking gameplay mechanic out of not being able to get a word in edgewise. No, 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 fuck. Yeet that truth bowl into the fucking abyss. I wish there was a way to rewind, but I guess there'd be no reason to loop if that were the case. Oh, that was wrong. No, I'm wrong. Okay. That was also wrong. Okay, so I have to connect the two statements. Wait, fuck. Alright. I know what I gotta do here. Fuck. Okay. Alright, so that leaves only one possibility. Oh, whoops, there are 3 weak points. Fuck! Alright, that just leaves 3 more possibilities. No, wait. There are a lot of possibilities. Alright, let me look at the backlog. Okay, the killer and only the killer. That is definitely the statement I need to shoot. Gotcha! With 6 minutes left.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him. Ah, really? Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That's why you're all making such ugly noises. Yeah, they're pretty fucking ugly, alright. Whatever, just hurry up and tell us. It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then I assume he headed off to exercise. A track jacket and a duffel bag? We didn't find anything like that at the murder scene. Seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence. And that's when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. Why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I would think. So Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together? But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined. Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right? Which means that, conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed. What a marvelous friendship.
要はその待ち合わせ相
The
手
point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even
つい
guess.
ているじゃない。
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
もう犯人
You
は
know
分
who
か
the
ってる。
killer is. Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
犯人が処分したスポ
Think
ーツ
back to
バ
the
ッグの
track
ジャー
jack
ジ
in
に
the
注
duffel
目
bag
して
the
みる。
killer disposed of.
その特徴から
Focus on the
考える
details of these items, and it should become
誰が
obvious who was waiting for him.
それは
Are you sure about that?
すでに処分された証拠
We
か
think
ら
we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't even have.
指紋を調べる
What, you want to track down some fingerprints or something? Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
そもそも証拠品は
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
それでも
Maybe,
推理ならできるはず
but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
話を
Easy for you to say.
じゃあセレス
But
ちゃん
fine, Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? Bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse.
倉庫にあるバッ
All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine that would make that one. I can't imagine what would make that one special. Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. But do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
だったら
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe.
Oh shit, I still only got 3 hearts.
トレーニングに行こうとしていたはず。そこで彼があんなジャージを選んだのかしらね。
あんなジャージとは分かったぞ犯人が持っているものとつまり犯人はあいつと同じ青いジャージを持ってるんだ俺のは黒いジャージだ僕のジャージすら持って
There was something sus about that
俺
statement.
は白いジャージ宿舎倉庫が
本当にそんなはず。
いや無理だ
そもそも藤崎トレーニングにそこで彼があんなジャージを選んだ
あんなジャージ分かったぞ犯人が持っているものつまり犯人はあいつと同じ青いジャージ俺のは黒いジャージだ
Oh, nope.
そもそも藤崎トレーニングに行こうとそこで彼があんなジャージを選んだのかしらね
あんなジャージとは分かったぞ犯人が持っているものとお揃いだったのだなつまり犯人はあいつと同じ青いジャージを持ってるんだ俺のは黒いジャージだ
Fuck. I get a feeling.
トレーニングに
I get a feeling Mondo might be the killer as much as I hate to admit it. But, okay, I gotta make my next decision carefully because I've only got 1 heart left. I'm stumped and I'm afraid to try anything.
あの人も強い
You heard him right. What he just said without even realizing it.
She's right. What he said just now is really odd.
Hang on, I'm gonna do a little outside research, if you will. Be right back. All right, let's try this one more time.
そもそも藤崎トレーニングにそこで彼があんなジャージを選んだ
あんなジャージ分かったぞ犯人が持っているものつまり犯人あいつと同じ青いジャージを持ってるそれは違う
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
What did I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said,
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assume he headed off to exercise.
she never said anything about the jacket's color. So why'd you just say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What do you just... Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
確かに
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, Did you tell anyone that?
私がこの話を
The
した
only
の
one
は
I told about
内
the only
部
one I
だ
told
け
about
です
any of this was you.
では大和田は
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was? Because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
それはない
No, that can't be it.
私たちが捜査を始めた
The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
じゃあそいつがジャージ
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That was the only possibility. Cherry, are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you? Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me and was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into a bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. He just ran into him briefly. He couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
むしろそう仕向けたんだろ
Perhaps.
そのためにあんなことを
But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with. What a bunch of nonsense. Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't
あな
it?
たの真
Your
の
true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit.
そのために
That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
そうよ
That's right.
ただし
However,
私は最初から
Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the beginning.
Why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question. The way he was acting, maybe? No, that can't be it.
私が大和田君を怪しいと思って
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women
女
differently.
性のことはあ
You
の
only call guys dude. For girls,
男
it's
性
chick.
そして
After he was killed, you have to refer to him as
大
dude.
きさの時に思った
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't. You noticed such a tiny detail? Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful. No,
恐ろしいのは私
I'm not the
の
frightful one.
本当に恐ろしい
Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
大和田君
Mondo, was it really you?
君が
Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone. You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal? Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
確かに根拠としては弱いわね
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
ですが困りました
Well,
ね
this does present us with a problem. It seems we're all out of leads. My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling us you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence? Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
急に自信なくすなっつうの
Geez, did your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man, just tell us. If you really insist, then... here it is.
あねねそれは
Hmm? What do you have there?
飲酒生徒手帳です
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it lying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
そうだったわ
For a fact. For a fact, indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
じゃあそこに犯人の手がかりが
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
と思ったのです
Well, that's what I was hoping, but it's busted. Won't even turn on.
おそらく
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
だが妙だな
That's odd.
その電
I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile. You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one. And yet this one does appear to be broken. As Leon's, it is sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, it is a remarkably high failure rate. You think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah. You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So what is it? Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you and someone decides to copy it, that would be very not good. Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks? Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands, but you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge E-handbook is, when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it'll suffer a meltdown and totally break. I flippin' knew it.
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burned, huh? It's because your sweat evaporates. It creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook at the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise his temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right? Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident? What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. Once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I wouldn't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know of someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was... Who might have taken their handbook into the sauna? Had to be the one who wore all their clothes into the sauna. It was...
It was you, fella. Tell the truth, fella. Bush knocked down the towers. Tell the truth, fella.
Bush knocked down the tower. Tell the truth.